Smash and grab robbery, stores closing.
And then also Target implemented that thing where your shopping carts could only go so far before the wheels locked up.
It says 2 men robbed the Tinley Park Target at gunpoint. It says Target's mounting struggles go deeper than theft. Robbed at gunpoint in a Target parking lot. So armed robbery in the parking lots of Target, which I heard something very, very interesting today. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's true, but somebody said that because he said they are going to be closing these stores down.
Surprisingly, I didn't have to like boot anybody or get rid of
A lot to do with it, but if it was
started.
So essentially, there's some shit going on.
Essentially.
Armed robbers target victims in Chicago. So there's this video. I haven't even watched it. It says armed robbers target victims in Chicago. And so this was uploaded yesterday.
Okay.
4 armed robberies in 40 minutes in Chicago. This is crazy, okay? And
is that downtown by any chance?
Chicago police are investigating an armed robbery spree on the north side Sunday night. So I don't think we weren't on the north side. So, but either way, this is crazy. But this is in connection with some other recent news that Target, granted, targeting, people are being targeted, I guess. It says the armed robbers target victims in Chicago. But with that being said, Target is closing. This is take a little while. Target says it will close 9 stores in major cities, citing violence and theft. So Target, as I suspected, as I have previous videos on the channel, that I said Target would be next, following in the footsteps of Walmart. Walmart is the leader. Walmart sets a precedent. Walmart is going to be the first mover, for which other stores will follow suit. Amazon, probably not, because Amazon doesn't have a physical footprint like Walmart does, although Amazon does have these little boutique kiosks set up in places, and they got Whole Foods as well. But Amazon does have its own issues with being sued by who's suing them?
Amazon?
Yeah.
Federal government in 17 different states.
Right. So yeah. So they're getting sued for something that they did to some prices. I'm super oily, I guess.
Welcome to my life.
But as I suspected, Target would be following suit, and here they go. They're going to close 9 stores in major cities, citing violence and theft. And obviously, this is only the beginning. There will be more. This is just the start.
And I'm sure it's the same 9 cities that Walmart pulled out of.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What cities?
Do you already know what cities? Does it say?
I was going to ask you. What do you think? What cities?
I mean, it's going to pull out of, obviously, if there's one in Portland, it's coming out of Portland. If there's one in Seattle, it's leaving. If there's one in San Francisco, it's leaving. If there's one in San Diego, it's leaving. And that's not because of violence, but I would think because of the homelessness and the drugs and everybody else and their mama leaving. Probably Atlanta, I would say. Probably St. Louis and probably Detroit. I don't know how many I named.
You named a lot, but you didn't name Chicago, which I thought you would, given how we started off this conversation with Chicago.
I wouldn't call Chicago a violent city. I know it is in the news a lot, but there are others that are much higher on the list for violence.
Interesting. So Target says here, Target said Tuesday that it will close 9 stores in major cities across the country, citing violence, theft, and organized retail crime. The company will close 1 store in New York City's Harlem neighborhood, 2 locations in Seattle, 3 stores in the San Francisco, Oakland area, and 3 more in Portland, Oregon.
What do you know?
The discounter said it will shutter the stores for good on October 21. Okay, so October 4, October 21, mark your calendars, which I heard something very, very interesting today. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's true, but somebody said that they think that October 4's signal broadcast, which now people are saying they're getting these Faraday cages to put their devices in so that they don't receive the signal, which, with that being said, we're changing angles here. All right, so with that being said, you said we're getting new 5G towers here.
Yeah.
Do you think that we will have 5G towers here before October 4th? Like, you think that's going to have
they're working on them now
to make sure we receive the signal?
So I was actually thinking, when I heard the talk of that, I was thinking that maybe that's what October 4th is. By that point, all 4G will be gone, all 5G will be into place, and maybe it's a make sure all the 5G works, which then will let you know if your cell phones aren't capable of it.
You know they're supposed to have 10G. Xfinity's got 10G, right? Or Verizon, or one or the other. But the crazy part about it is, like, what if this mass signal was to create this geofencing that basically can send signals to everybody. And it's almost like they would have the ability to look at us like the Matrix through the ping data of these devices back and forth to these different towers.
Okay.
You know?
That makes
but
sense.
The craziest part that I heard was that people were saying that October 4 is going to be a day where when the signal goes out, it'll then trigger a response in the bodies of the people who got.
That's a little far-fetched.
Hey, that's just what it said. That's what it said.
I mean, even I know that the people who got the are having some health issues. I don't think that.
Can you imagine if that happened?
I mean,
if it was an activator?
It's a movie. It's like iRobot and all those other things. Like, if it was an activator, I got to worry about some people. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's wild.
But
what if it was true? What if it was true and it activated you and you're like, wait, I never got it. They go, ha ha.
You've been eating the chicken.
It was in the chicken.
Yeah.
It was in the chicken the whole time.
Yeah.
It says that we cannot continue operating these stores because theft and organized retail crime are threatening the safety of our team and guests and contributing to unsustainable business performance. Target said in a news release, we know that our stores serve an important role in their communities, but we can only be successful if the working and shopping environment is safe for all. Target, which has nearly 2,000 stores in the U.S., and not all 2,000 stores are closing. So far right now, it's 9 that's making the news, has been outspoken about organized retail crime at its stores. It has said theft has driven higher levels of shrink, an industry term used to describe losses from goods that were damaged, misplaced, or stolen.
What's interesting is that the places where it's closing down the most probably have the highest drug use and homelessness in the area, and it's not being combated. It's being like allowed with, here's the needle program, here's a whatever program, here's a place to sleep on a bench, here's a whatever, and it flows over into your businesses. You have a high level of homelessness and a high level of drug addiction. You don't want to live there, so you sell your house. So then your property or the real estate, whatever there, is gone to crap. Other small businesses don't want to open there. They want to open over here where it's safe. And then it's just like this weird trickle effect. And the next thing you know, all the big stores have to leave because all the people who could have afforded to spend money there are no longer in that area.
Yeah, I was trying to look up their earnings report. Target Corporation's reports second quarter earnings, and they weren't favorable. They weren't what they would have preferred to see. And
whose are though?
Well,
for the second quarter.
Yeah, but they're contributing theirs to some possible poor decisions on their part for certain,
like Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch.
certain
trending pushes.
Certain floor plans, or what was the term for it? They had a term for it. Not the planogram. It's not the planogram. But basically,
it is a planogram, though.
Is it the planogram?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they made some choices on certain things that they wanted to push and promote, which would probably align with a lot of the political. I don't know how to say it. They probably align with the same opinions of the politicians in these cities, or closely tied and related to these cities.
Yeah.
That thought that their voters would be all for, not realizing that no, they can't support your business financially. So it was a poor decision on that part. They didn't support you. Those who disagreed didn't support you. Mm-hmm. And everyone else tried to rob and steal from you.
Yeah, so it was a lose-lose across the board.
Yeah. With this announcement Tuesday, Target also stands apart in its decision to both shutter stores and to explicitly blame the decision on retail crime. They're going to blame it on crime.
Of course.
That way,
scapegoat.
That way, they don't have to look. They don't have to say, "Oh, we made a mistake." No, we're just.
That way, they don't have to say that as a company we put this much money into redoing our stores. What is the right word? Starts with an R, right? My brain's like relocating. That's not it. Renovating.
Yeah.
They renovated all of their stores. You would drive by a Target and they would have the entire
They changed the bathrooms and everything.
You would have the entire parking. I know. You would have the entire parking lot like fenced off with all these mini mobile trailer things in there because they were renovating the entire thing. They were changing the layout in a way that they said would make it so that people would shop more. It's because you were lost. You had no clue where anything was anymore. Nothing made any sense. They divided everything up to make it almost impossible. There's plenty of people who quit going in there because it became a confusing maze and it wasn't worth it. And then there's others who quit going in because it was pushing agendas first thing when you walk through the door that you didn't agree with.
So it says that when the company reported fiscal second quarter earnings in mid-May, CEO Brian Cornell said organized retail crime had shot up at its stores. He added shrink overall is expected to reduce Target's full year profitability by more than $500 million. That's $500 million compared to the year ago period. And when asked if the company plans to close stores because of rising shrink, Cornell stressed Target's reluctance to shutter locations and said, "We do not want to close stores. We know how important our stores are. They create local jobs, they generate taxes, they're very important for those local shoppers, and they play a critical role in communities across the country." He said, "We'll continue to do everything in our power to keep our doors open. At the same time, we'll be closely monitoring the safety of our team and guests, as well as the financial impact to our business as we determine the right path forward at Target." You would think that they would probably close that Target down in downtown Denver.
You would think.
Unless it's
Because I mean, they
fortified
had armed security.
Yeah, that's
they
like,
had like
maybe
legit,
that's why it won't because
it's like a small jail when you walk in. I mean, everything is behind lock and key. You have a armed police officer at the front. You have cameras everywhere. You also have very few things on the shelves to begin with, because it's either they're going to steal it all, but if we don't put a lot out there, that's less for them to steal. But then at the same time, as a shopper, that's less on the shelves for you to buy. So then you have to go somewhere else to find it. Why would you go back?
It says Target's mounting struggles go deeper than theft. Target's business has struggled for more than a year with company-specific challenges, including a glut of unsold inventory, backlash to its specific Pride merchandise collection, and a pullback in consumer spending on discretionary items such as apparel and home goods.
Well, here's the problem. They have a tendency to overdo the trending things that isn't trending for everybody, or that some parents won't allow their kids to have, or that whatever else. So when they say unsold inventory, it goes along with backlash to its, merchandise collection. That's the unsold inventory, because they went overboard with it, expecting that the 1% of the population was going to rush the Target stores and buy everything, but they didn't think about the 99% of the population who just want plain jeans and a plain t-shirt and something that doesn't show your belly button.
But earlier this year, I think this is legit though. Earlier this year, it says a woman robbed at gunpoint in a Target parking lot, and it says an armed robbery occurred in the Target parking lot, and a female placed her purchased items in her vehicle and got in the driver's seat. Her door was opened by an unknown black male who held a gun to her temple and told her he would shoot her if she screamed. The male took her purse and got into a black SUV with Minnesota dealer plates and headed westbound on Cooley Road. So armed robbery in the parking lots of Target can't be good for business.
No, probably not. And then also Target implemented that thing where your shopping carts could only go so far before the wheels locked up.
So that creates more of a risk for the shoppers.
Exactly, more of a risk for the shoppers, because then it makes it so that if you know that your cart is going to lock up, you're going to base your purchases off that. I'm not going to put something heavy in a cart that I can't get to my car. I'm also not going to, especially go shopping at night, if I know that I have to stop far away from my car to pick up my bags to where my hands are no longer free and able to defend myself, to walk to my car to put stuff in. It's just not a bad idea.
With that being said, Walmart has already begun to reduce their store hours.
Yep.
Do you think that they are going to continue to reduce store hours to only try and be open during daylight?
I was going to say
much like the banks and their ATM vestibules and different things, it is a risk. Mm-hmm. With that means fewer hours. Mm-hmm. That means fewer hours for workers to earn money, but it also means fewer time for the stores to make their profits.
Well, because you have to think, the problem here is that everything that works on a 9-to-5 schedule forgets about the people who need them, who also work on a 9-to-5 schedule. You need to go to a doctor's office, you have to ask for time off. You have to hope you have some time off or some sick pay or some vacation pay so you can go run these errands that have to be done Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, while you're also supposed to be clocked in wherever you are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If Walmart and Target start closing at 5 o'clock, how does this work? Literally everything starts to implode.
Got another one here. It says 2 men robbed the Tinley Park Target at gunpoint.
The entire store stood outside it and held it up. How does that work?
This was only like a few weeks ago. I don't know. It says Tinley Park police are investigating 2 men with a gun robbed a Tinley Park Target store and armed robbery. The men took an unknown amount of cash from a store clerk as the employee was changing cash drawers.
10 p.m. closing time.
Ooh.
That's important.
The men, described as wearing surgical masks, fled the store in a black sedan with no plates. It's funny how they want everybody to wear these N95 masks and mask up and get ready for the lockdowns that are coming, but not understanding and realizing that, which I really expected to see more of this during that time when everybody was wearing a mask, but no one really cared. Nobody batted an eye. But now when you walk in with a mask, people look at you funny, like, why are you still wearing a mask?
Yeah, well, it's because
but they don't look at you funny like, oh, you're gonna rob me. They look at you funny like, why are you wearing a mask?
Yeah.
But police are working with store security to pursue leads and decline to provide further information. But Target CEO Cornell has provided plenty of information because he said they are going to be closing these stores down.
Well, let me tell you where they've messed up. Would you like to know where Target messed up? Target messed up by counting down all of them. All the stores that count down their registers while their doors are still unlocked and open without making sure there's nobody in the store. That's where they messed up. As somebody who used to have to do that, your doors are locked before you start counting down your register. Especially if you have 2 registers and you start counting one down early and you do it often enough that people know your routine. They know exactly when to show up, where to go, where you're going to take the register after you've counted it down, everything else. You're like a little sitting target. It makes more sense to spend an extra 5 minutes at work after you've locked your doors, secured the place before you pull out a register.
You're absolutely right. Despite store closures, shrink data is murky, is what this article says, and says that Target announced the store closures on the same day that the National Retail Federation, the industry's major trade association, released its latest National Retail Security Survey. And the survey found that the effect of theft on retailers' bottom lines is about the same as it has been for years.
You said National Retail Federation. My brain went, go watch Star Wars. I don't know why. It's the word federation.
I thought you were thinking like they had like a belt or something.
They might. But I want to watch Star Wars now. That is all.
But it says that total retail shrink grew to more than $112 billion in 2022, up from $93.9 billion the year before, according to the survey. And the metric is calculated using total U.S. retail sales and generally rises as retail sales climb. You
hear that number, but then you also realize that these people who run the companies are still making tons of money. They're still making $40 million a year, $30 million a year, bonus of $12 million a year, but they have billions in losses? How does this work?
Target joins a growing list of retailers that have shuttered stores in major cities, including Walmart, Nordstrom, and Walgreens. Walgreens Boots Alliance? What the hell is that?
Never heard of that.
I saw another one. Ponderosa's closing. I thought Ponderosa already closed.
I don't know what the hell a Ponderosa is.
Ponderosa is going bankrupt.
Is that the one with the flower on it?
I don't know.
I don't know what a Ponderosa is.
I think it's like Perkins or like I'm making this up. I have no clue what Ponderosa is, but I don't even know what a Perkins is. But Banana Republic's going down too.
Well, that makes sense because that's a family of, it's Old Navy, Gap, Banana Republic. Banana Republic is very expensive and it's very Caucasian and it's very conservative and it's very boring clothing. And there's not a ton of people this age that are out spending money. The people who shopped at Banana Republic are now out of the age range in theory where they want to go spend a bunch of money on some overpriced cable knit sweaters and straight leg trousers. So
I'll tell you what though, everybody wants to know what's happening. What's going to happen next? What should we be worried about preparing for in the economy and this, that, and the other? And I think the clear sign here that we need to pay attention to is not just these stores closing and the rise in theft and crime and the announcements from CEOs from Target and Walmart and all these big companies, but the clear indicator will be when the next news headline says, smash and grab robbery, stores closing, and they start listing stores like
Denture Cream,
Talbot's.
Oh, I think I was gonna say places like Denture Cream and
yeah. I mean, when it gets real bad,
yeah, it gets real bad.
When it gets real bad, like the orthopedic shoe stores,
Liz
like
Claiborne has been robbed.
Yeah,
Talbot's.
Like
Dress Barn is already gone. You can't even do that one.
Beals.
I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we start hearing about them shutting down, then we really got.
It's weird you don't ever hear about a Ross or a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls getting robbed.
I don't know. But if you do, then we need to be paying attention because that means we're done fell off the damn cliff. It's over.
Yep.
What do y'all think?